hello, hello, hello. I hope that you are as excited as I am right now. If you weren't just doing what I was doing, okay, so what I was doing was going on the page and making sure I shared this broadcast. I don't know about you. If this may be your first time at Leadership Live, so maybe you don't know. So let me hook you up. I am Dr. Renita, and I am super excited to be back here for week eight. Week eight of Leadership Live. Can you believe we are 8 weeks into 2021? Well, we are. Here we are. And Dr. Renita, I am an educational leadership strategist. I help leaders who are aspiring or growing become more authentic, help them empower more, and help them have a greater impact. I'm also a one-on-one coach. Love my coaching clients. They are amazing. I do group trainings as well as workshops. I'm a speaker. I'm an author of Stepmom Trials, Tribulations, and Triumphs, editions 1 and 2, as well as While You Are Sleeping, the Perfect Bedtime Story and Children of All Ages book. I am an veteran educator. I've been everything from a teacher to a school principal, an adjunct associate professor, and I am so excited. I'm a wife. I am a mother of four children. Stepmom, trials, tribulations, and triumphs. Why did I write it? Because I've lived it. I own 2 children and I birthed 2 children, and I love them all. So I am excited to be here with you for week 8 of Leadership Live, and I am over the moon, excited about my guest today. She is fabulous. When you hear the story of how we connected, just be ready. We're going to have a great time. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on in the room here. We have Ravin, Dr. Ravin, if you need to understand. Hello, somebody. Doctor.
Hello. Yes, you are such a part of that. You get to add a jewel to your crown for being a part of making me Dr. Ravin Gore-Overby.
Look, I know that was just called support. That's what support looks like, what it should look like.
Absolutely.
True sisterhood. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Dr. Ravin,
yes.
because I just enjoy saying it. Why not?
It's so good. It's so good. Dr. Renita.
Yes. You know, that DR is not an easy thing to come by.
Ooh, and they told Jill to take hers off. Yeah, right. First Lady Dr. Jill.
Look, they can, long as they put it in there, they can call her 18 other names as long as that hits at some point in time. Because anybody who has walked the doctoral journey, because it is just that.
It is a journey.
It is not for the faint of heart. I say this about the stepmothering journey as well. It's not for the faint of heart, and it's not for those who are going to get weary and quit. No. If you desire to get those letters in front and or behind your name, you will put in blood, sweat, and tears.
All of them.
And you will have to endure until the finish.
Yeah.
So if anybody ever tells you not to wear it proudly with godly boldness, look at them and say, God bless you.
That's right.
I am Doctor, whatever your name is.
Who gonna check me, boo? Yeah, get them together. Wrap them up.
Gather them up.
Gather them up.
That is not what we came here to talk about. But
not at all.
Pointed. It is pointed and poignant and powerful. And it's so important.
It's so important.
It goes into, so I'm going to touch this and I'm going to move on.
Yes.
In the first chapter of Stepmom, the very first chapter of the book is What's in a Name.
Yeah.
What's in a name, and what you have and what you earn and what you allow people to call you or not to call you. And this is not just in a stepmothering journey. This is not just in a doctoral journey. It's in your journey of life. As you are going through your life leadership, what you allow people to call you will show how you respect yourself, how you respect others, and what you demand and how you demand to be treated.
Say that. And put a period there.
Period.
Put a period there. Jot that down. Put it in your pocket. Carry it with you wherever you go.
Wherever you go. It's a nice companion to have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For sure.
People came here tonight to hear you. They see me every week, but they came to see you. So,
Yeah.
Dr. Raven, will you give them
Yeah.
just a little bit about who you are and the topic that you chose for this evening?
Yeah, lovely. Well, first of all, thank you, Dr. Renita, so much for having me. I have enjoyed
Absolutely.
several leadership lives in 2020, and I said there's absolutely no way that I don't get to pay it forward and be a part of Leadership Live 2021. I am a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I
Hallelujah.
am an author. I am, again, a doctor of education. I'm an assistant professor. I am a project manager. I wear so many hats with pride, with absolute pride, because the beauty is I get to switch them out and I have an amazing support system, Dr. Renita included. I'm here to talk about professional development.
Mhm.
It's one of those things. I'm going to tell you, when I latched onto professional development, I heard Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable, we all know him as Cliff. He said, you can present something on a trash can lid or a porcelain tray.
Mhm.
Depending on how you present it, is how people will receive it. And that spoke to me in such a way that said to me, if I present myself in such a way, even if I don't know everything about something, or even if there's a piece that I'm missing, my presentation says she's ready, she's prepared, she's powerful, she's presenting a package that I want to be a part of, I want to know more about. And it's professional development is a best kept secret, a jewel that if we add it to our hip pockets, into our tool chest, it can really take you over the edge
Mhm.
in certain situations. And what I'm noticing, fortunately and unfortunately, fortunately in that it gives us an opportunity to help and support. Unfortunately, in that, oh my goodness, why haven't we poured into our brothers and sisters
Mhm.
of color more in this area, is that even the soft skills, your basic flimsy handshake or assertive handshake, your
Mhm.
blacks, your blues, your browns, your red is a power color, knowing to wear 7 pieces of jewelry at
Mhm.
any time, uh, toning down your perfumes in certain rooms because of allergies. Those types of things can really uh, put you in a position of negotiation,
Mhm.
uh, and really not just get you a seat at the table, but get you the table.
Hello.
Yeah,
That
can
that
get you
mm,
the table.
that part right there. Not
Yeah.
just getting your seat at the table, but
Mhm.
getting you the table. Oh my goodness.
The
Okay,
whole
so
table.
there were a number of things that you touched on that I want to touch back on before we
Yeah.
even proceed further.
Yes.
Um, the first thing is hat wearing.
Yeah.
The first thing is hat wearing. I think that as women, and particularly women
Right.
of color, and particularly African American women,
Right.
we get into this mode of wearing thousands of hats at one time. Thousands of hats at one time. And
Yeah.
I spoke to this idea
Mhm.
with someone earlier this week, and it was the idea of feeling the need to prove our worth, our value,
Yeah.
and we take hat wearing as a way to do that.
Yeah. We do.
Um, but at times it can become overwhelming.
Yeah. Can
So with
I?
your hats, yeah,
Uh-huh.
go ahead.
Yeah. Let me share with you. I just finished a book called The Year of Yes by Shonda
Come on,
Rhimes.
Shonda Rhimes. Yes.
And she said something in that book. She said, we have a desire to perfect career and motherhood and all the other hats that we wear, as opposed to living in the reality that it's okay if one thing lacks just a little bit for
Mhm.
something else to grow. As
Right.
long as you don't leave it by the wayside forever. Of course, we as mothers, we latch onto our babies and we fight like lions. But at a point, we've got to step back and go, wait a minute, I'm still a whole human over here.
Hello.
Right. and take care of us for a minute, have a massage and a hair appointment here and there, right? Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
we've got to get out of the thinking that if something, if we're not doing everything to perfection, that it's not progressing, that it's not going well.
Right.
And our perception of perfect has got to change as
That
well. Because you can't wear 1,000 and have the expectation that you're going to pour the same amount into each glass. That's just not reality.
right. Right.
And I honestly don't know where we got that from. I don't know where that came from, but we've got to erase that and build a new standard for ourselves, because it's causing our crowns to tip and we're putting more weight on it ourselves.
Right. So for those of you all who haven't seen The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes, it's an incredible book.
Mm-hmm.
It's available in hard copy, or you can listen to it. And if you choose to listen
Audible. Mm-hmm.
on Audible or wherever you listen to your audio books, I'll say that,
Yeah.
she reads it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I experienced the same type of thing when I listened. So I listened to The Year of Yes.
Yeah.
This was when I still had about an hour commute one way. And so
Yeah.
in a few trips, I was able to listen to the entire book. And that idea of wearing so many things and feeling the
Yeah.
need and the must, for
Yeah.
lack of that you must perfect these things. And it's just not
Yeah.
true.
No.
So Yolanda Makumbe, and I'm happy to see that she's on here tonight. She she put in the comments, we can create a new standard for ourselves, but she
Mm-hmm.
also talked about the week that she was on week 1, and she talked
Yeah.
about being a recovering perfectionist.
Wow.
um, so she is a recovering perfectionist.
Yes.
And I definitely feel that in my spirit as
Mm-hmm.
well. It was so long I felt like I had to be perfect. I had to be perfect because back to it was my worth. And
Yeah.
if I wasn't perfect, then I wasn't worth much. I
That's
wasn't
right.
valued as much. I wasn't worthy of much. And just
Mm-hmm.
in my personal leadership journey, both as a leader over people, a leader with people, and a leader of my own life,
Yeah.
I realized how much perfectionism was killing me. And it was
It's a
killing,
monster.
yeah, it was also killing my ability to be a really good leader, because not only did I expect it of myself, I started expecting it of other imperfect people.
Come on. Come on. That's major. That's
Yeah.
major, because we start to expect ourselves in others and are
Yes.
disappointed when we don't see the evidence of ourselves in others, when it is our job to plant the seed
Right.
and it'll grow at its own pace. Because even every rose has a similar seed, but it does not have all the same petals.
Absolutely. And there's the piece of empowerment.
Yeah.
Leaders,
Yeah.
your whole job.
Yeah.
It's just your whole job. It's just to empower other people to
That's it.
do great things, and it's not to control them. And I think that's where
No.
some people get caught up.
Right.
And when we're talking about soft skills and
Mhm.
professional development, it's learning the skill of building other people.
That's it.
It's
That's
not
it.
the skill of perfecting, it's not the skill of controlling, it's the skill
No,
of building
that's right.
other people. And that is so hard for
Uh-huh.
people who have this perception about what leadership is.
That's right. That's right. Major. That's
And
major.
the
You
idea of
said something.
power over vote versus power with. And this is actually a piece that was in my doctoral study.
Yeah.
But
Hello.
it's the idea of power over, that control, versus
Mhm.
power with, which means I lead with you. I am here with you in it,
Yeah.
and allowing your light to shine, your greatness to rise,
Right.
even if it rises higher than mine.
Yeah. Woof.
And that's okay.
That's okay. Get off
But
the
that's
toes
a
though.
skill. That's a skill.
That's a skill.
It's a soft skill.
Mm-hmm.
It's a soft skill.
Yes,
So
it
the
is.
second thing I want to bring up, and this goes right with soft skills, because
Yeah.
our soft skill of the month, Dr. Renita's soft skill of the month, is
Uh-huh.
confidence.
Ooh.
It's confidence.
Come on. Come on.
And
It's
when you were
major.
talking about presentation,
Mm-hmm.
presentation, the biggest piece that I heard from you, it wasn't that you knew everything. It wasn't that you could do everything. It's that you presented confidently
That's
and
right.
people bought into the package that you had.
That's right. Listen, let me tell you something. I got so wrapped up in it. I bought myself a briefcase. I didn't have anything in it but chapstick, but I carried my briefcase. Yeah, I carried my briefcase because that to me was an example of power. Nobody
Mm,
asked me what was in it. It was nobody's business, but I carried it because that's what I saw who I thought powerful people were doing.
right,
Just a
right.
briefcase. It really is, again, think about if somebody, back to the cliff thing, think about if somebody presented a steak to you on a trash can lid. It can be your favorite food, but you're going to go, wait a minute, hold on. That's on a trash can lid. That's all you had? You ain't had no paper plates. You had no
And a napkin.
napkin. I could just took it in my hand. But if you present the best of what you have, let's say it's a pork chop,
Right.
and it's on your best china that you have, it's the perception and the image of that thing that
Mm,
people are going to look at. What is your if all that you have is some baggy jeans and a button down shirt, well, maybe pull them up a bit and tighten
mhm,
your belt a bit.
mhm.
And if you have a haircut, making sure that it's neat and prepared. And that's not to say that hairstyles, have to change according to jobs. That's a little deeper.
But I
But
mean,
what
moisturize it.
get it
If
together.
just put some moisture on it. Don't let the flakes fly. We're
No,
not asking a lot. Just
no.
get some oil on your scalp. I don't
That's
care if
right.
it's Crisco.
Right.
I don't care if it's your local olive oil. Minty a product is made with
Pepsi,
it. Put
whatever.
it on your scalp.
That I had someone who I was sharing this with, the concept of professional development with, and she had and this is no shade, no judgment zone to people who decide to do different colors in their hair. But she just happened to be my sorority sister. Of course, no shade to the AKAs, but she wanted to wear her pink and green hair to her
Mhm.
interview. And she said she was an individual and this was important. I said, yes, but as an individual, you want to be a part of a whole
Right.
company, right? And you
Mhm.
can be an individual at your house. They are paying you to come into this place with this presentation. And unfortunately, your pink and your green hair are not welcome.
And so I think this speaks to another point. There is a difference between showing up and showing out and being authentic.
100%.
You can be authentic
Mhm.
while still easing your way into certain situations.
Right.
Authenticity sometimes comes as people feel like they are being inauthentic if they are not being
Fully.
as well, not just even fully, just choosing one culture at a time.
Right.
So they feel like they need to fully show up in this culture,
Mhm.
no matter what it is, because there are a plethora of cultures
That's
that
right.
everybody falls into.
That's
But
right.
this is the culture that I'm deciding to present. If they don't take this bit of culture, then it's not for me. But now let's be real. You have opportunity to
Right.
choose and seek what you decide to put into. If you
That's
want
right.
to apply for certain things, you knew what it was when you went there.
When you went
You
there.
knew what it was when you wrote the application. If you are wise, you
Right.
took the time to read the job description. You took the time to go to the company's website, the
Mhm.
organization's website, the person's website. You know who and what they're about.
That's right.
So why you would think that you could upend that culture immediately?
Right.
I don't know. I don't get that.
I don't
Now,
get it
are
either.
there some organizations that could use an uplift? Of course,
Absolutely.
and uplift and just sometimes accepting and being with others. But
Mhm.
that is a learned behavior.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you? It's just back to the trash can lid.
Right.
You can.
Yeah.
It can be delicious and wonderful, but they're still not going to try to see what it tastes like.
Because of your
because
presentation.
of the presentation.
Yeah.
Even if you confidently hand it to them, sometimes they are.
Hello.
Well,
And
and
your
the thing is,
resume
some
could
people
be,
can.
yeah, your resume could be everything. But what are you showing them from the door? And this is the thing, what tagging on to what you just said, uplift, yes, but you got to get in there first.
Right.
Let's just be honest.
When you're infiltrating the system, you got to get in the system.
You got to get in the system. And no system ever changes from the outside in.
Right.
You got to change it from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Just like our body. You can't do anything to me from the outside, but if you come on the inside,
Right.
then we can do some things,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it is imperative, and what you're saying is so important because again, it's never to take away, and what I shared with her, it's never to take away from who you are, but if who
Absolutely.
you are is fully stated in your hair, you got to give me a little more.
Well, and that can't be all of who you are. I,
No,
that is the easiest cop out. Oh, I am just this. No, you're not.
no, you're not.
Quit. Back to worth
Hmm.
and value.
Yeah,
There's so much more to you.
so
Now,
much.
am I saying that you have to go in and go get a Just for Me or a Dark and Lovely relaxer? Absolutely not.
Uh-uh.
If that's not who you are.
No.
But if pink and purples are who you are, honestly, that's
Yeah,
fine. But
yeah,
maybe this is not the position for you.
that's right.
This is
Absolutely.
not the way you infiltrate this system. There's
No.
going to be another way. If that is your call,
Yeah,
there will be another way for you to get in there.
that's
This is
right.
not it. It's not through this traditional route. Maybe you need to
No,
do something non-traditional and go through another organization to get to that.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, it's like you said, it's a cop out, and it's actually keeping us from opportunities to really change the game
Right.
because we we as women of color, we as people are super powerful, but when we get such a narrow mindset that we're that
Mhm.
focused on the exterior, we're keeping um, our gifts, our talents, our skills, our abilities, our experiences,
Right.
our money from growing
Mhm.
when we get to that. And I'm excited to pour into people who are willing to listen to the fact that in a lot of cases it's really not about you, but
Right.
because ultimately you want to get into, unless you're going to be a sole proprietor or do
Mhm.
create an LLC, and in that case keep your pink and purple hair. But if the goal is to become a part of a corporation or an organization, you've got to assimilate their way and then
And
maybe
then
have
tell
pink
them,
and purple hair day.
right, well, and or prove to them that pink or purple hair doesn't matter.
Come on, come on.
Oh, you showed up and oh, you normally wear your hair pink. We're sorry.
Right.
We've been holding you back from being you because they're going to find you so valuable.
That
Oh
is
my,
not going to matter.
is it? And it'll be a staff meeting. Excuse me. Is there anyone else here who wears their hair pink and purple on the weekend?
Just
Why
wondering.
don't you feel free in doing that here? Oh, we set up a culture that made it impossible for you to do that. So now let us shift what we do.
That's
Please
right.
wear your pink and purple hair because now you've shown us that it doesn't matter.
It's not important. But you
There's so
can't do
many.
that from outside the club.
Right, because all you're gonna do is have your son and be mad because you couldn't get in.
That's
That's
right.
why there are multiple soldiers in an army.
Yes.
This is why
Yes.
this is why people are given different giftings and they are called to do things in different ways. There are
Yeah,
some people who need to lead from the boardroom and there's some people who need to lead from the sidewalk. And that
that's right.
doesn't mean that either one is better than the other.
Not at all.
Doesn't mean that either one is not flexing as much power as the other because at the end of the day, what they're called to do, if they're doing it well, that it's going to be powerful regardless.
Absolutely. It's gonna be.
But your calling may be in a different area.
Yeah,
And maybe you are going to go somewhere later, but maybe you need that other soldier to go there first
that's
to
right.
prove certain things for you. They're clearing the path for you.
That's
Don't talk about them bad and say that, well, they sold out. No, they didn't. They cleared a path for
Open the
you.
way. That's right. That's
That's
right.
why you can come in here next week.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're sticking with the hair thing. But what I want to say here too is what I'm not speaking about is people of certain faiths
Right.
who wear maybe your burqa or your hijab. That is
Oh, that's
not
a
what I'm
totally
talking about.
different. Oh,
No.
totally different.
Yeah, I just want to make it clear to our audience that we are not speaking about that. Now, there are certainly, rules and guidelines and stuff
Right.
to prohibit those types of things from being accepted openly in every workplace. However, we're not talking about them.
Oh,
We're
absolutely.
talking about those who are so focused on one particular nuance of who
Right.
they are, and using it as a that wasn't for me. And that's just again, it's missing opportunities, it's missing um, uh, chances to really infiltrate a system that maybe you're the only person, or maybe that your pink and green hair, you're the only person that could infiltrate that system, and you don't want to be
You don't want to give up that peace.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Oh
something you
my.
have to sacrifice. So Melissa last week talked about sacrificing your feelings. Leaders often do that. You
Yes.
have to be willing to sacrifice your feelings in
Get
order to
over
get the
you.
job done.
Yeah. They again, I live in analogies every so often. Uh, they do not pay you to feel. They put your feelings to the door. I mean, think about it. We as wives and moms, and again, all the hats that we wear, when we hit that door, usually a lot of that stuff has to stay outside, and we have to wear, the work mask for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So your feelings, now if somebody hurts your feelings, different story. But
Right.
put your feelings, get your check, get your coin, right? You're
Right.
there.
Get out of your ego.
Get out of your ego, because it's not going to be good for it.
Right. And my thing is, if you've put yourself in a position where you are having the opportunity to lead,
That's
that
right.
means that you cannot live in your ego.
Mm-mm.
You cannot, because it's not all about you. Now,
No,
do they need you? Yes, that's
yeah,
why you were chosen to do it. They need you. They
that's
need
right.
the authentic you. They need your experiences. But
That's
it
right.
can't be so about you that it
Yeah,
can't be about anybody else.
that
And
can't be
and
the
their
case.
feelings don't matter.
No,
Sorry.
that can't be the case. And a lot of that starts with how we are, the concept of nature versus nurture.
Hmm.
It starts with where we come from, what we know to be professional, who we've seen that's professional. One of the things that I heard Colin Powell say in an interview once is character and poverty have nothing to do with each other. So,
That part.
so if you're concerned with where you're from, being who you have to be, your character and who you are on the inside has nothing to do with where you're from. He said he came from the slums, and
Hmm.
look at what he rose to. So if Colin Powell can do it, we
We
can
all.
too.
Yeah.
It's absolutely imperative that we start to pour into each other and are mindful that we're saying, hey sis, hey brother, I know this
Mhm.
is your norm, but let me help you.
Right.
Of course, in a place of love, of course, building trust with that person
Mhm.
and letting them know my ultimate goal is your success. Okay. That's so if you succeed, I succeed, we both win. Building the trust with the person that you want to pour into, making sure that they know you're the example,
Right.
right? So if you want someone to participate in your professional development learning, then
Hmm.
you've got to show them this is who I am. Now, when I'm not in a professional capacity, can I be someone else? Yeah, that's okay. It's okay to do that. But
This
in
is
a
not even like you're
professional
being
moment,
someone else. You're
no.
being another part of you,
Yeah.
or another part of you
Yes.
can shine.
That's right.
It's because it's not even always hidden. It's just
No.
that what's taking front stage at the moment.
That's right. That's right. That absolutely. And again, that I think that trust is major. We I think you and I come from an age where, if mother being elderly woman
Right.
said, you might want to pull your, do you have a slip on? Uh, you might want to pull your dress down a little shade. right? Or put a napkin over your lip. It
Wow.
wasn't a question. It wasn't a, well, why? I'm sorry. Do it. It was a do
Right.
it. It's a different generation now, where we almost have to ease into saying, um, I can see a little more of your cleavage that I'm interested in. Okay. Could we maybe cover you up just a taste?
Right.
You
Or
know,
I could almost see your underwear.
I can see
Can-
them.
Here's a little something.
Yeah, a little tie around. It's a different age. However, the need is so still there. It's still there. Please and thank you. Manners,
Hmm.
just simple manners,
Right.
goes further than you could ever know.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
sending a follow up email, sending a thank you email, or even a handwritten note. Those types of small etiquette skills and tasks are what's going to make someone remember your college application versus
Hmm.
putting you in that maybe or no pile.
Yeah. So
You
I
know,
think this is segue into the third thing that you said from the beginning. And I
yeah,
want you to talk about and expound on it some. And it connected even to the piece of professional development as people are continuing to grow.
yeah, yeah,
That is the piece about the package.
hmm yeah,
Um, because, when you're going out to present yourself or information that you have that you desire to share with others,
right.
they are looking at the package. Could you take a few moments
hmm
and just expound on that piece?
Yes, absolutely. You know, I wrote a book, Secret Strategies and Superpowers of a Successful Woman. It is geared toward women, but I've had men read it and go, oh my goodness, I had no idea that women experience this type of thing. It is so important that the package that you are creating and presenting is accessible, that it is a gift, and that it's openable. I know I just maybe made up a word, that people are really able to see what you have, see your experience, see what you've been through. Not at all to go deep into religion, but God hasn't given you your mess to keep the message to yourself. He hasn't given you the test to keep the testimony to yourself. And so people are hungry for what you have, for what we have. And if you're packaging it in the proper way, they're able to receive it better. Who wants to, I mean, think about Christmas time. Who wants to open a gift with 50 million layers of wrapping paper? Nobody wants to do that. And lots of times people are going to give up because you've wrapped it so tight that they can't even, the gift doesn't even matter anymore because they're so frustrated by the packaging. Be open, be honest, be accessible, and make sure that the packaging, first of all, is authentic. So don't tell anyone that something's in the package when it's not really there. If it's not a skill that you truly have, don't say that you do. Be again very authentic and honest, but make sure that you are sharing um, some of the heart of who you are. If you've had a really great experience, share it. If you've had a really terrible experience and you feel like people can grow and or learn from it, be willing to share. But the package itself has got to lend itself to be available to people. I did that in my book. It was my goal to really share some of my secrets, even in some detail. But my next goal was to share strategies of how I was able to get through certain life events, and then how the strategies became superpowers, how they lifted me up even more and put me in a position to where I could circle back to the secret and it not be a secret anymore.
Hello.
Yeah, it wasn't a secret anymore. So you really want to, the most important part is being open It really, really is. You never know how you're going to connect with someone on something as small as nail color, natural hair, a blazer. I mean, even a smell every so often can bring up a memory that someone has. I speak a lot about my twins. I have twin sons who have sickle cell anemia, and I have been able to talk to mothers in hospitals and mothers in CVS just because I had a sickle cell pin on. You never know who
Hmm.
you're going to connect with because of your package.
Right.
And you should be always a walking billboard for yourself.
That piece right there.
Yeah,
You should always be a walking billboard for yourself. That means no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing.
yeah,
And if certain things are you,
yeah.
don't lie about it.
Don't do
I
it.
love the piece where you said, don't lie, which is not the word you use, but don't lie
Yeah,
about what's actually in the package.
yeah,
If you don't have it, don't say you do.
mm-mm,
Say you can say you desire to have it.
yeah.
This is
I'm
where I
willing
want
to
to grow
learn.
to. I'm willing to learn about, but
Yeah,
don't lie and say it's there because that's when one, you've been inauthentic. Two,
right.
you've lied. Three, anybody who resembles you, who reminds them of you, will have a short end of the stick because their experience with you has headed the next person off.
100%. Jo- Whoever's listening, watching, record that part, jot that down. You have really limited it. Again, one of the things I think about in this area is Excel. Okay. We all have an idea of how to use Excel, but there's some parts of Excel that if you really, your pivot tables and your column change, if you're really not into it, you don't need to say that you're proficient in
And
Excel. Because
right,
if their goal is to move you through, let's say, benefit analysis position and benefit to if their vision for you is bigger than your vision for yourself, and you
right.
get in that door and have no clue of how to even open Excel, come on, just say, just don't put that on your resume. If you this is another thing I looked at someone's resume. They said they went to a particular university. Okay, I won't mention the university. They said they went to university. What they had done was a certification that they had not completed
Oh,
at the university. So when the person was checking resumes and called said university, unlike we expect people to do, they said, yeah, she was registered, but never completed. Don't lie about what you have
right,
because you never know who's going to be super due diligent
right,
and check after what you said, and then you're a liar.
right. And leaders shouldn't be liars.
Leaders can't be liars, not good
Well,
ones.
no, to not go and see, and I think that has ended up being a resounding theme. I ask people questions like, what is a leader? And it's always the good leader.
Yeah,
So my simple definition of leadership is a leader is a person who has followers.
absolutely, absolutely.
We're not talking about a good leader. We're just talking about a
Okay,
leader. If you
yeah.
have any type of follower, you're a leader, even
Period.
if you don't particularly acknowledge them, because whatever you're doing, if they're following you, like Melissa
You're
said,
leading.
if they're mimicking you,
Yeah,
you're leading them.
yeah.
Even if you're leading them to damnation, you're still
Woo!
leading them.
Come on, somebody.
So, you know, leaders who are liars are intentionally,
Uh-huh.
even if they don't admit it, if they're lying in their leadership, they are intentionally leading these people to places unknown, which are at that point unsafe because
Yeah,
nobody knows where they're going.
yeah,
So, a good leader to me is a leader with true vision.
yeah,
And if you're
yeah,
leading through a lie, how can you
yeah,
have a vision because you don't even know where you're going to end up because you're
yeah.
lying the whole way?
The whole way. And I think about back to Shonda, because the book really touched me. I think about when she was giving one of the speeches. Please go get this book. But I really do endorse her.
Oh, get it
Um,
or listen to. I promise. Listening to it made me okay. So this was just,
Took
I
me
listened
through.
to Becoming as well, and
Uh-huh.
so I
Me
personally
too.
feel like Shonda and I are good friends now,
She's
and
my girl.
so are Meech and I. And I feel like I
Yeah,
know I can never ever really call her that, but I
Shell,
feel like I want to because we have journeyed so
Shell,
much in my car.
Shell. I call her
Shell.
Shell.
Hmm.
But what Shonda said was, um, she was having trouble accepting one of the awards because so many people had broke the ceiling for her to get where she was. When we leaders are liars, we're putting that glass right back down.
And, oh yeah, come
We're putting that glass
on.
right back down. We blocking the light for those who are looking at us and who
Right.
are coming after us.
And they are going to have to start the process all over
Ain't
again.
nobody got time for that.
You know how many people have been beaten on that ceiling for anybody, for us to even be
Yeah,
sitting where we are right now?
yeah,
How many people have beat that ceiling so
yeah.
that we could be here today? And you're going to take more glass and
Why
put
would
it
you
back
do
in
that?
place that's going to be thicker than before because nobody's going to trust anybody
That's
who
right.
even makes them think about you.
About you, about your hair, about your lips, about your nose, about your body shape. Period. We don't have that kind of time. We don't have
Right,
that kind of time as women. We don't have that kind of time as people.
right.
Of course, we can definitely dig into the women of color, but people in general, we don't have. There's
Have the
work to
time.
be done.
Right,
Why, if somebody is breaking the ceiling and getting light into the area that is clearly dark for us, why
right,
would you be the person? I mean, just I would rather, and I think I consider both you and I good leaders. I would rather you just get out of the way,
right,
just move, as opposed to getting in and messing up. If
right.
that's not your gift, which is why packaging is major, if that's not your gift, and you know that's not your gift, even if the salary is what you need, don't do it.
Exit stage left.
Get out. Yeah. Yeah, get out because it's not going to take but so long for them to see through you,
Right.
and for them to it's going to take one or two people, to be fully honest with you, one or two seasoned folk
Hmm.
in said company to find you out and probably rat you out. So we're
Right.
saying all of that to say, don't be the leader who thrives on being a good liar.
Hello.
Don't be
Hello.
that person. Don't be that person. Because ultimately, what you're doing is making it so the good leader who is waiting for you to break that ceiling is going to have to wait 10, 20, 30 more years. And
Right.
again, we don't have time. We don't have
We
time for
don't
that.
have time.
No,
There's
there's
too
work
many
to be
things
done.
that need to be done, too much progress that needs to be made for you to set everybody back
Why would you
again
do that?
because you just wanted to lie.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
be
Mhm.
you.
Be
Just
you.
do you. Live your life.
Yeah,
Be you. And back to the original point,
yeah.
if your everything has to be in pink and green hair, do that, but go do what you're supposed to do
That's
because
right.
obviously it's not this thing
It
right
can't be
now.
this. No, no, no,
Not
no, no,
right
no.
now.
Maybe later.
Hmm.
Maybe later, but not today. That's where, though, again, that's where those soft skills and having, again, awareness comes in. I've seen a young man who was very tied to his chain. He had I want to call it a herringbone. I think that's what it was called. It was a super thick chain, and his father gave it to him, and it was like his good luck thing. I
Hmm.
said to him, "It's wonderful. Tuck it in.
Hmm.
He'll be closer to your heart. Tuck it in your shirt." I'm serious. That's just not appropriate for the position that you're. Look, it's just not. And this is another point. We got to be okay with the truth hurting people's feelings.
Mm,
Sometimes, back to your point about feelings, we've got to be okay with saying it even when it hurts.
right.
Because again, I didn't want to take away from a young man's dad. I knew that that was important to him. That wasn't the goal, but the goal is also the job. And I think dad would echo me and say, tuck
Son, if you got to tuck in that necklace for the
it
interview
in.
and
Tuck it
pull it
in.
back out next week,
When you get the job offer,
pull
tuck
it
it
out
in.
next week. Sometimes we just there's some things that have to be done to get in the door,
That's right. That's
and
right.
and it's not selling out, it's not copping
No,
out. Back to if that is so genuinely and everything of who you are, because I want to present the package for. I'm going to show them what they're going to
who
get.
I am.
But is that really everything that they're going to get, or are you going to give yourself the opportunity to grow?
That's right. You have to do it.
Because shifting and growing is okay. It's not selling out. It's not over assimilation. It is just
Yeah.
becoming the next phase of you. And maybe, just maybe, you'll have the opportunity to
Yeah.
change somebody else.
Yeah.
Some people we can't reach because they can't even take
Get in
us.
there. Yeah. Yeah. We have to be willing to do that. Even and especially in, if your goal is Fortune 500 companies, you got to be willing to do that, because let's just be honest. There's, I believe, one now African American woman running a Fortune 500 company. One in 2021. It's almost weird when we say the year now, because it's like, well, no, yeah, it should have happened back in 18 whatever, but the reality is one.
Right,
And you're going to be the person, or you should be the person to do it, but you're tied to a garment or an item. That can't happen anymore,
right.
guys.
And you know what? I think about, so I met this beautiful young woman. Her name is Alexandra Badgett. She is the
Yeah.
current reigning Miss North Carolina.
Ooh,
And I had the opportunity to speak with her. My daughter couldn't come to the event. I was there, and she wanted to provide something for me to get to my daughter when I went back home. And we talked on the way to the car.
aw,
And so she's the current reigning um, Miss North Carolina. But in 1983, I do believe Deneen Graham, now Kearns, was the first
yes.
Black Miss North Carolina. And she happens to be my first cousin. So
Wow.
we had this conversation, and what I did not know was that Alexandra was the second Black. So I said, hold up, let
Wait
me do my
a
math.
minute. 21. Right. What?
1983
Oh,
to 2000, I believe Alexandra won in 2019.
my
Um,
goodness.
and may have won in, no, it had to be 19 because this was at the beginning of 2020 when I met
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Um, so it took that long, and they
That's,
love Deneen. They
yeah.
love Deneen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And the reality is, if Deneen hadn't have reigned the way she did, there
Mm-hmm.
still wouldn't be an Alexandra.
There still wouldn't be her. Gosh,
They
that gave me chills.
revere her. They revere Deneen. They love
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Everybody I've ever spoken to has always talked about how amazing she is.
Yeah.
And if she hadn't reigned the way she
Yeah.
did, there still wouldn't be an Alexandra.
No,
Because at the end of the day, certain things control certain things. And
that's
yes, we're
right.
talking about a beauty contest, and
Sure.
it's inside out beauty. Let's not get it
Sure.
twisted. At
Not
the
at
end of
all.
the day, if you don't have that inside beauty, that outside beauty will not matter. And so
Period.
it's inside out beauty. But she
Right.
still, all those years ago, decades ago, was paving the way for this
Yeah.
young lady who showed up in 2019. Did she know that
Gosh.
it would take that long? No. But it
Mm,
still mattered, not only how she reigned then, but how she carried herself throughout.
right.
Even now,
Right.
she is regal. If you ever look at a picture of her now, she's
Yeah.
still regal. And
Yeah.
it's because of that
Yeah.
she paved that way. She cleared that path because I'm
Mhm.
sure she has her own story
Sure.
about what that was. I'd speak to Rachel Oliver Cobbin. She
I
was
know
Miss
Rachel.
America,
Uh-huh.
I believe in 1987.
Yeah.
And she talks about, because at one point in time, she was Miss Burlington,
Right.
I believe on the Miss America side.
Grew up. Mm-hmm.
And so just the different pathways to get into these different things and to hear even the things that she went through as Miss Black America
Yeah.
to pave the way for certain other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the journey.
It's the journey. And can I say too, we have to be comfortable not only helping to break the ceiling, but being the trailblazer.
Right. If you choose to be the
If you
trailblazer.
choose to be. Yeah.
Because the trailblazing is not easy.
It is not easy. It is not. But I'm calling forth several of you,
Yes.
several of us who are trailblazers, who are game changers, who
Mm-hmm.
are warriors, who are powerful, who are ready, who are hungry, who are leaders, who are not afraid to say, "I'm going to do it this way." The way that it's said that I'm supposed to, so that then I can create a whole new package. I can
Right.
create a whole new standard.
And that's not everybody's call.
It's not everybody's call. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
But
No,
everything needs it,
everything needs it.
but it's not
Absolutely.
everybody's call.
Because there should not still be, and I hear this every so often. I know you do too, Dr. Anita. There should not still be first Black anything right now.
But there's
That
plenty
is
more to come.
That is a crying sin and a shame, as my country grandma would say. It does not make sense for there to still be a first Black anything right now, but you exist. We
Mm-hmm.
exist. It may be my children, it may be yours, it may be Dr. Renita's, but we exist, and we have got to, again, remove the feeling, remove the emotion, and be about our business, such that we can break in to the door, get into the system, and rewire that thing, so
Right.
that, again, the next person, and like Dr. Renita said, it is not, as a matter of fact, there's no rule book for you.
Right.
You're not going to be able to operate in the trend. You have to be the standard.
Hello.
Yeah, you got to be the standard. And if I know you to be what I know you to be, you're going to set the bar so high that we must leap to reach the
Mm.
next standard.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to we're required to break records at this point.
Right.
Right? We're required not, and not only break them, but break them so that the next person, it's almost impossible for them
Right.
to come after you. You
They're
think
trying to
about
figure out how did that happen?
what the world, you think about people like Michael Jordan still holds records that have not been broken. And I believe he's been out of the league a good 10, 20 years.
Right.
Right? So he's still his airness, right? But
Right.
but but he had no problem. Let's go here. He had no problem quietly coming into the NBA. He didn't come in a star.
That part.
Yeah, he didn't come in a star. And let me tell you what he didn't do once he became Air Jordan. First of all, he didn't give himself the name, so he
Right.
wasn't living in title. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't give himself the name. But second of all, he never stopped practicing and growing. This man won 6 championships and was still the first one at practice. So you must be willing to still grow.
Right. Professional development is not a one-time event.
Not at all. Think about this. If your ladies and gentlemen, if your hairstylist or barber stopped, right, we would still be up here in beehives, guys.
Honey.
We would still be getting, I mean, I'm not mad at your French roll. If you still got your French roll, do you, sis?
And your finger waves.
And your finger waves and your
Even
scrunches.
those finger waves that made a
They're
comeback.
coming back. They're coming back. But if you're still in that mindset, think about if your stylist, our service industry stayed in that space. We
Right.
wouldn't have the innovation and the comfortability to be in our natural states.
Let's take that even further.
Yeah.
Not just talking about our cosmetologists and estheticians. Let's talk about people who are our janitorial services. If they had never and did never continually get professionally developed, how would we be able to stay as sanitized and safe as we are right now?
In a whole pandemic, we would be at home still on lockdown.
Hmm.
On lo- we would be a mess if there was not somebody comfortable with being that person.
Right,
And it's going to be weird, you're going to be strange, you're going to be, different, but you exist, and you've got to move forward and be that person. And again, like I said, he never stopped practicing.
right,
He never got to a place in himself. People were calling him all sorts of things, right? So while Dr. Renita and I and those others of us who are listening are getting our titles and those types of things, we've still got to remain in such a humility, a humble space that we're
right,
able to say, yeah, I got this, but you know what? Let me go get this here certification so
mhm,
that when life coach and professional development and the things that speaker and author, when these other things come available, that I've got the not only the experience, but I've got the education,
right.
so that when theory is needed, I can marry it with practice and I can give you what you need,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly. Well, we are coming towards the end of our time. This was
Oh
probably one of the quickest
no,
hours of my
this is so
life. But if you had to leave everyone with one piece, as
short.
well as anything else that you would like to share with the
Yeah.
viewers today, what would that be, Dr. Raven?
Oh my goodness. Well, again, thank you so, 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 so much. Listen, if you are not a regular listener of Leadership Live, get into it. What are you doing? Um, get it together. So that's A. But what I want to share with you is that your packaging, your professional development, your personal and professional standards have got to be such that they're authentic, that they are open and available and touchable, and
Mm,
you have to be honest with who you are, with what you stand for, because to wrap everything that Dr. Anita and I have talked about up, you are the trailblazer. You're the next. You're possibly the first. And fear and feeling cannot keep you from being the next Shonda Rhimes, the next
mhm,
Michael Jordan, the next Colin Powell, the next greatest and latest leader in your particular industry, and the world is waiting for you. So, why
mhm.
would you miss the opportunity to be what the world needs?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I thank you for being the first Dr. Raven.
Thank you for having. Please, 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 if you get the opportunity, jump into my website,
Mhm,
ravengore.overby.com. I am fortunate to do consultations. I'm fortunate to be a speaker, again, a minister, a mother, an author. And I am working on life coach. I am so excited to share again that I have written Secrets, Strategies, and Superpowers of a Successful Woman. You can get it on my website or at Amazon.com. Thank you so, so much for your attention. If I can to help you, serve you, support you, or pay it forward, I am a pay it forward ambassador in
yes, she is.
do let me know, because I find it a blessing to be a blessing.
Amen. Amen. Well, Dr. Raven, thank you so much for coming on this evening, for
I'm
taking your
so
time,
delighted.
making your time available
Yes,
to share with us. It has been a blessing this evening.
yes.
And for everyone watching, whether it's live or on the replay, hashtag replay all day, do what you do. I love you. I thank you for taking the time with us this week and next week. be back with us Monday at 9 o'clock. It won't be us, but it will be me and another one of my amazing friends here on Leadership Live. We'll be here all 52 weeks of 2021, and I am looking so forward to seeing what the rest of the year will bring, being that the beginning of this year has brought so much. And Dr. Ravin, you are a part of that. Thank you so
I
much.
love you so much.
Love you, love you, love you. And everybody out there, make sure you keep your leadership all the way live. Good night.
Good night.